Hello and welcome to Maths with Jacob. This lesson will focus on changing fractions to decimals, worksheets. So this video presents a few slides where we have some exercises and it gives us some practice in changing fractions to decimals. Now we have had a lesson on this, so if you don't have any idea or you forget what to do, when you get to the last slide on this video, you can advance the video if you like and just go to the last slide quickly. And if you press on the link there, that will take you to the lesson and that will explain how all these are done. So let's have a look at just these 5 here. Now, if you saw the lesson, you might remember that when you are given a fraction, the first thing you try to do is you try and make the denominator either a 10. If you can't make it a 10, try and make it 100. And if you can't make it 100, try and make it 1000. Now the lesson shows you how to do that. So when you can express the given fractions in that format there, then it's much easier to change them to a decimal. And I explain how to do that in the lesson. Now it's exactly the same here. If you look at those very, very carefully, focus on the denominators and say to yourself, what do I have to multiply the denominator by to get one of these denominators here? And whatever number you multiply the denominator by, you have to multiply the numerator by the same number. And you must remember, that makes the value of the fraction the same. You do not change the value of the fraction. Let's have a look at the next slide. Now here we have some more examples. So these 5 here, look at them very carefully. And I think if you just study them, you won't have too much trouble in changing each of those denominators to the denominator that we want or need. Okay, and I think you can see what it might be, so look at it very, very carefully, and that's not too difficult. This one here, now in the lesson we did some examples on mixed fractions, and all we did, we said keep the whole numbers the same, just focus on each individual fraction, okay, and work out what do you have to do to make that fraction with a denominator of 10 or 100 or 1000. Once you do that for every single one of those fractions, then it's very easy to change the fraction, this mixed fraction, to a decimal. And there will be a decimal point, of course, right? There will be a decimal point. So for example, this first one is going to be 3 point something. That will be 7 point something, 9 point something, etc. So remember, there is a link on the next slide which will take you to the lesson if you forget what to do. Now this video has given us a few slides and we've had the opportunity to do some practice in changing fractions to decimals. And the very important process is we have to make sure that the denominators are 10 or 100 or 1000 for these examples, and then it's easy to proceed.